The Giants sucked on so many levels in this game, but there was one particular play that sucked the most.
Freaking idiot Devontae Downs, not knowing where the tight end was in the end zone. What was he doing? He looked at nothing. He said, oh, try to run after the play was already over. Idiot.
Get a clue. Ugh. It's just a miserable ending to the season. It's
Pretty much.
disappointing, and I'm at a loss for words. The squandered opportunities early on. We looked good in that first drive.
They had to highlight it too, those bastards. They were like, missed opportunities. I was like, we freaking know. We watched the game. Jesus Christ.
It is granted there were some issues that the Giants had to deal with this week. They had to deal with COVID cases, injuries. Daniel Jones has further injured himself.
Jesus Christ.
I think he came back too soon. They were too overzealous, and they brought it back.
What do I always say about forcing somebody to come back on a team that doesn't really have the best shot? Why are we doing that to our franchise quarterback? What was the point? What was the point? Did we get a win with him in the game? No. So why do we do it? I don't understand. This goes back. I don't want to talk about no other team, but this goes back to the RG3 incident. They forced him to go in against that team that was destined to win the Super Bowl, and he got hurt, and now his career is over. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be Daniel Jones, but the fact that we even risked it, and now he's hurt more. Now we got to deal with freaking bum McCoy.
McCoy,
he made some bad throws today.
He did.
Don't you go easy on him.
He made some bad throws, but he
did his thing otherwise.
I'm gonna be hard on Ingram, but there was very, very tight coverage on today.
You wanna know something? Andrew freaking Thomas deserves a reward for player of the game. Andrew Thomas held Myles Garrett, who I believe is a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL. Most people who watch regular ESPN would not disagree with me. Myles Garrett is a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL, period. Andrew Thomas did not let him get one sack. Not one. I watched him the entire night. Not one time was coverage even really broken. Really. Even if he leaked, he still pushed him out to the side like most linemen are trained to do. If your coverage is broken on one side, or if you're, as we like to call, compromised, try to ride it out. He did just that. And they tried to, like the announcer said, they tried to get him isolated. They tried to have it so it was one-on-one situations. It didn't matter. Myles Garrett couldn't get past him. He actually looked frustrated. So you know what? Andrew Thomas, despite the game, how it turned out, Andrew Thomas, I think in my eyes, was the player of the game to watch and player of the game, period. Like he and it's interesting that alignment is, because that just shows how boring the game was, at least in my opinion. Yeah. The game was very high in defense on both sides. Freaking,
oh my goodness, the defense.
The dropped passes. There were a lot of missed opportunities. Golden Tate dropped a pass. Slayton dropped a pass. Ingram dropped a pass. Tight. It was tight.
The Browns defense is
very good.
On point.
And we have to realize the Browns had a lot more to lose than we did this game. Way more. The Browns are in a situation to be in the playoffs for the first time in almost 18 years.
It's a long.
That is a lot more pressure on a team to win than it is for us when we don't have Bradbury, which, by the way, not having Bradbury killed us today.
Oh,
he was not. We didn't have our number one defender. He was not able to lock down the number one receiver, which on their team. Yes, R.I.P. Bradbury. We need him.
He's supposed to be. If he tests negative tomorrow, he'll be back for the next game. And from what I hear, we have a 15% chance still to be in the playoffs. I don't think that this team can beat those.
Even if we make it, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know if I want to watch if we make it to the playoffs, because it's going to be a slaughter whoever we play. We don't have our full team. We still don't have Saquon. Now Daniel Jones is out for who knows how long. And believe me, that will make me very upset for a while. Until I know how long this man is coming back, I'm going to be very upset about Daniel Jones. And now I realize, going back on how much I roasted him, I feel bad, because when I watch Colt McCoy, sometimes I'm sitting there like, damn, we really need Danny Dimes. Like, I know Daniel Jones made some mistakes, but looking at Colt McCoy play is not a very settling feeling for me, Giants
No,
fans. I get sick to my stomach sometimes when I get back from commercial break and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I still have
it's
to watch this
because
bum.
we've had to settle with and settle for, I should say, Colt McCoy. We had to settle for this guy.
You want to know what the
No
whose
one else.
fault that is? Freaking Gettleman.
Dave Gettleman.
Dave Gettleman. It all goes back to him.
Well, and also he was probably persuaded because of Jason Garrett's relationship.
Most likely.
Boy.
Oh, you reminded me, not having Garrett call the offensive plays.
Yeah,
that was a nightmare in some spots.
Sure that he spoke to the gentleman that whoever, I think it was the inside line,
the tight ends coach.
Yeah, I think he was able to get on the phone and chat with Jason Garrett. That is not the same.
It's not the same.
Not the same.
It's a different mentality, different knowledge about the plays. First of all, you want to know how shitty his plays were? This tight end coach called a play and had Evan Ingram being a run blocker. When you have Toyolo, why is it that you have Evan Ingram trying to block Olivier Vernon when you could have put in Toyolo? Toyolo wasn't even on the field at all. I don't understand what they were trying to do.
What happens is, when people get their chance, right? They're like, this is what I would do. And I think that's what happened. He's been saying the whole time back in his mind as he's watching Garrett probably every week, well, I would have done it differently. So he did it differently. And we got, the result was crappy.
Yeah, well, he needs to stick to being a tight end coach. Stop calling plays.
Just keep it.
I'm just saying. I'm not even trying to be mean to the guy. That was stupid.
Jason Garrett is not a spring chicken. So hopefully, his bout with COVID won't be very long. I mean,
I hope not.
These young guys are getting through it within a week. Well, I don't know if they're getting through it within a week. They're clearing.
I know what you mean.
They're clearing them within a week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which I think is too soon, to be honest.
I don't know if a person that's slightly seasoned like Jason Garrett is going to get cleared in 1 week. I mean, he might actually have bad symptoms. And these young guys, they're not getting bad symptoms because this is not something that, unfortunately, this illness is not something that a lot of people can, make it through easily. So one of the things I want to say is, we could end up with a replacement, O-line coach for another week if he's not 100%. I mean, he might push himself to go out there, but, he's not young. So they've got still major challenges to get over as we near the end of the season, the regular season. And, I have these flashbacks, of the last time we were in the playoffs. I'm not going to mention it. And I'm like, it's been so long. It's been so long. And I just feel like we need a little something to give us a boost. Even if we only have played one game in the playoffs, then we can say we won the NFC East. We'll have something to hold on to.
I agree with you. I think the issue is that the obstacles that we keep having to go through. It's never easy being a Giants fan because the situation was looking very good. And then Daniel Jones has the hamstring injury. And then now we're having James Bradbury miss a game, a big game that we needed.
It started with your cousin, my nephew, Barkley, or Saquon. We forgot about him. A lot of things.
It did start with Saquon. Honestly, I wanted to forget it started with him because that's always where it starts. You lose your best player and it's like, well, it can only get worse from here. And then it did. Now we lost one of our other good players in Daniel Jones. And it's hard to sometimes say that because he sometimes has those weeks where you're like, what the hell was that? But then he has weeks where you're like, yes, do it. And he really was starting to have his own identity almost. Like he was starting to shape himself as a quarterback. People were starting to acknowledge him on the run game.
It's true.
And then boom, he messes up his hammy. And then now you got Mr. Bum McCoy. I'm going to keep calling him that until he does something good because his stats are just trash. He pisses me off. I'm sorry. I try to, support him, but he pisses me off. He's a bum. And I'm tired of watching him play football. There could have been somebody else we could have got. There has to have been. And again, Dave Gettleman.
There's always someone better than what the Giants end up picking up. Let's just start there. There's always someone better, but we just settle for the second best or third best guy. I do not understand it. It's probably to save a couple of fazools.
It's Dave Gettleman being stupid, to be honest with you. Because I don't understand how I don't even want to get into it because it's too late. I can't stand Dave Gettleman. That's all I'm going to say right now, YouTube. I'm tired of Dave Gettleman with these decisions he makes and how he's so confident that it's going to not backfire on him. And then we do things like this. We put all of our resources in defense, and it's like we have our defenses all benched. You have a lot of people on the bench that can come play. We have a lot of reserves, but it's like, what happens if Daniel Jones goes down? You really rely on Colt McCoy to finish out the season? In a season where it's like we actually could make the playoffs? Would you really think that was a good idea? I'm sure he didn't think that this would happen, that people would have COVID.
Well, nobody thinks that. You think, oh, we've got a nice young rookie quarterback. The first, okay, we got him. This is his first full season as QB, as a starter. Oh, he'll be fine. There's no guarantees for any of that. And
Never.
That's why you need to have a high quality backup.
Yes.
I don't want to have to run down the list, but
So many.
list, I mean, we could have, Bridgewater was available at some point. But the Panthers pounced on him.
Quite a few people. Shoot, we could have got freaking Andy Dalton if he really wanted to.
Could have had Andy Dalton.
I would have preferred Andy Dalton over Colt McCoy. You kidding me? Man,
some are disagree with Jameis Winston is somebody who
he's better than Colt McCoy. I don't care. He's a better option than Colt McCoy.
He's a little pickalicious, but I definitely think that he might have loved the opportunity to be on the Giants team.
Yeah, I think
we had options. That. We had better options than Colt McCoy.
And the only thing that Colt McCoy is very good at is playing under pressure, and that's about it. And I don't know. The game, I don't want to be super mad because, like I said, we had a lot of obstacles coming into this game. So it wasn't like we really could do much. If Bradbury was playing, it's a different game, I think.
What's crazy about him is his story is he picked up, he tested positive because he went to his chiropractor who ended up turning up COVID. Or maybe he didn't test positive. Maybe he's just in the quarantine.
His chiropractor tested positive.
Yeah, so he might just be in protocol for it, just to make sure he doesn't have it. Either way, these things.
He was missed.
Deeply and dearly missed.
And then can I talk about, I need to roast Joe Judge for the first time.
Why are you roasting Joe Judge?
What the hell was that challenge? Why would you waste my time? Why would you waste my time? Why would you waste anybody's time with that? And he's sitting there talking about, that's horse shit. No, you're horse shit. What was that?
I didn't even need a replay. I clearly saw a Browns player on top of the ball.
Yeah.
I saw a second Browns player protecting the first one to keep the ball. It was very clear.
Like,
maybe he was hoping that his theatrics would sway the officials.
That's called desperation then at that point. But I mean, with that much time left, what do you think was going to happen? We were going to just get a Hail Mary touchdown like the freaking Cardinals? No. The only way we were going to win is if Colt McCoy could finish a freaking touchdown pass and somebody on the receiving end could catch it. Because the problem tonight was that there was no connection. Either Colt McCoy overthrew it or threw it behind the guy, or he threw it on the money and the guy just bricked it.
But you know what? If you look at the smooth and clean drives of the Browns, and they showed a very, the sequence of how
that's a top offense, by the way,
how the offense was holding our defenders, and it was spectacular. I mean, the guy had plenty of time. The whole game had plenty of time. He just kept going smooth. Just kept getting first downs. It was just smooth all the way down the field. We had nothing like that. I think our first drive was like that. And then we get there and we decide to do the fake. What was that? Was that the fake?
It was the bullshit call where he threw it to the center in the end zone. The most unathletic person on the field. What was that?
It was ill-advised. It was unnecessary. It's the beginning of the game. The fun little plays.
I'm sorry. I'm like envisioning that play. I'm sorry.
It was
you shouldn't have reminded me about that.
Just kicked it and kept it pushing.
Yeah. Why? What? You want to know something? It's because, like you said, it goes back to the coach. You saying, "Well, maybe I would have done something differently."
I think there was a lot of that tonight, and you know what? That is a whole bunch of like ego stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do what I want to do now that I'm in charge. I know that last time Jason Garrett did XYZ.
I don't think it was the right call.
It wasn't the right call. I would have done this.
Now you had your opportunity and you bricked.
You know what? If we're right, I'm hoping that somebody in the Giants organization sees this, and if we have to go another week without Garrett,
It
I
shouldn't be
hope
tight end.
I hope someone also says, you know what? Don't do what you think you always should have done. You do what's best for the team. And I think there was a lot of that, I'm going to do what I want to do because now I'm in charge. And
Because the plays were bizarre. I didn't like it.
they were
Would
extremely
Jason
bizarre.
Garrett have made those play calls? Who knows? Hindsight 2020.
I think
But
I don't know that Jason Garrett would have done the little cute
I don't think the target would have
fake
been the
punt,
center. Number one,
the
it would
fake.
not have been the center. The center would have probably been a distraction
I don't
because
know
the
that
center was blanketed.
there was no reason to do it at
No, just go
the
for
beginning.
three. Just go for three. Come
Too
on.
soon for the cutesy stuff.
Yes.
You just kick and get your 3 points if you can get them.
We were playing. You want to know what it was? I feel like we were playing desperate.
It was
That's what it felt like. We were playing desperate.
But that's
We didn't-
also harking back to the beginning of the season where we were playing desperate. We had figured some stuff out. We didn't need to go backwards.
The issue is like we both have been saying, people wanted to try different things because people are no longer in the picture for this week. That's all it was. Some people tried to, show that they could play defense, but some people actually showed that they couldn't play defense, which is why they're not on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier McKinney, although he did miss a lot of the season, I feel like that's why he wasn't able to do what he was supposed to. Yadam got exposed a little bit, but Yadam's not a number one DB cover. He doesn't cover the number one receiver, and he should never do that. It was just the fact that we didn't have Bradbury, and that's why it happened the way it did. That receiving core, one of the best that we'll ever play in the season. One of the best. If Odell Beckham was playing, imagine how crazy it would have been. That's one of the best receiving score in the league. One of the best.
True.
And think about this. The Browns back-to-back 2 weeks ago, in the past 2 weeks, have scored 40 points plus in both of their games. So we held them to 20. Without our number one DB cover. Without our number one DB. So
we can have some solace in that, I guess. Next up, Ravens.
If Bradbury is back, it's a different game. That's all I'll say. Even if Jason Garrett's not there, having Bradbury makes such a big difference because he takes that one receiver that is the difference maker completely out of the equation. So then they're left with their backups. And guess who's covering them? Jabril Peppers, Logan Ryan, Julian Love. Like, dogs. They're all dogs. The problem is they didn't have Bradbury. Bradbury would have blanketed Landry. I'm confident in that. I can say that with confidence.
How much of a difference one player makes, isn't it?
Especially
I hope he leverages this for his new contract.
he might as well. Look, he was all pro this year. That's an all pro DB. His stats, what he did, those numbers he put up, pass deflections being in terms of percentage completion when thrown to, very low percentages for quarterbacks. That's an all pro player. He should be all pro. Easy. Without him, our defense is not really as good. It's still good, but you saw what happened when he's not playing. Landry was able to do whatever he wanted. Then you got the second options running around. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the game in a nutshell.
That's it.
At least it wasn't a total blowout. We could also say that
it was not a total.
It was a very tough fought game.
We could have had probably 6 more points.
Yes,
in the ending instead of.
I think there should have been 2 touchdowns. There were 2 touchdowns we didn't get. We got stopped at the goal line on a run play, and freaking Colt McCoy miscued on a throw.
You know what? But there's another thing that sort of bothered me. I felt like there was some pass interference calls that weren't called. Like Pat, I should just say this. I should say that I felt like I saw pass interference and it wasn't called.
Here's the thing. I know what you saw, because I thought it was pass interference. But when I watched the replay, it's hand fighting.
Right.
It's considered hand fighting. They were fighting, and he also wasn't obstructing his ability to go for the catch.
Right, because he was a couple times they were in front of them. Off to the side. Anytime they're off to the side, that to me always gets called for pass interference. But when you're in front, it's almost like you're reading their eyes and face, and that's different.
Yeah, and you just put your hands up. That's just good coaching, and that's just them listening. That was very good defense. They played lockdown defense, and if Daniel Jones made those throws, would they have been different outcomes? Potentially. I'm not saying they would have been, but it's potentially.
I mean,
so
McCoy threw some good throws.
He did. I'm not trying to say he was trash. It was just
our receivers were well covered.
Yeah,
well covered.
So,
and I was nice. It was. I will end without. It was nice to see Shepard had a little bit of fire back in him.
Yes.
Because again, I forget about him now because we have some of these showboaters out there, but he definitely was, trying to earn his keep again tonight. Ingram again, I feel like he's inconsistent. I'm just gonna leave it there.
He is. He plays like he's the best tight end in the league sometimes. Then he plays it's like, what the hell? Who is this?
Yeah.
Back and forth. That's not good for our Giants team. That's not good.
It's not good. All right, so it's another game under our belts where we lose.
And I'm here this time.
Jamie the son is here. He showed up. He was a week ahead on the Sunday night football. What a waste, by the way, of a Sunday night football game. Really, they could have.
Yeah,
Really
the one that I actually showed up for was whack.
They could have, yes, they could have showed up better this week, but they didn't. But we do hope you'll join us for the next episode of Family Bonding. We need you to subscribe and to like and share, and please leave a comment and give us, your 2 cents about what you thought of this game and where we were lacking. I'm sure you have many opinions like we do, and we'd love to read them and respond to them. But definitely subscribe so you can get more information about this show when it happens. Also, I want to say happy holidays to anybody who's watching.
Yes.
It's an interesting holiday, wherever you are, and try to enjoy it. And even despite the terrible loss of our New York Giants, and we can all get past. I think we can get past this to enjoy the holiday, but come back ready for. I think the Ravens game is going to be. I think it's going to be more competitive than what probably others will say it will be. But we'll see. We'll see who's available to make play calls and to be on the field in the next week.
Bradbury, please.
We might need to send him a DM, a message.
Get well soon, fam. Like real soon.
Exactly. So until next time, we will see you on Family Bonding, the G-Men mother and son post game show. Take care, everybody.
Take care and happy holidays.